Randy, how would you describe this year's team? You and I were talking moments ago just about the experience. You have some kids that have played, but from a class standpoint, maybe one senior playing varsity this year.
Yeah, we have the possibility of only one kid playing that is a senior, but we have a lot of kids that have played tennis before in general, whether it's starting as early as, third, fourth grade, and a lot of kids that have experience of playing tennis, but probably only 3 or 4 that have varsity experience.
Is that unusual for you guys to be relatively that young from a class standpoint?
It is, yeah. We usually have more than one senior playing, usually maybe 2 to 3, but it's nice having kids that have played before.
Talk about the summer. All the coaches I talk to, football, basketball, everything else, they talk about what they do during the summer to make them better and ready for the season. What about you guys from a team or an individual standpoint?
Most kids played over the summer. They came to tennis camp, and then my 2 boys, Ryan and Kyle, played tournaments all summer, 4 or 5 tournaments this summer.
You have to, though. It's no different than any other sport now, right?
You do. The more you can play, the better you're going to be, and a lot of my kids played indoor tennis over the winter.
Coach, you mentioned what a run, though, from last year. A lot of those players played on that team last year. Talk about the run you guys made, and how do you kind of use that as a motivation to come back into this season?
We really did have a good run. It's the first time in state that we got to the state finals in Richmond high school tennis history. We've got a good draw again, so pretty much the same draw as last year. So, we're looking to finish like we did last year, and I think we've got a good chance to do it.
And having that experience from that last year, does it make it any easier, or is it something now that it's kind of an expectation? Does it put any more pressure on the kids?
I think these guys look at it almost as a challenge, honestly. Trying to get back. They've seen the draw. We've got to continue to work hard, and I think we've got a good chance to do it.
Now, it looks like you're set at number 1. Talk about the lineup, what it looks like right now, and I'm assuming it's going to change a little bit because you have a little ways to go here before you get your first match in.
It could. My son Ryan's going to probably play 1 singles. After that, it's still kind of up in the air. My other son Kyle's going to play Josh Jones, George Dickman, Jake Miller's up there, Luke Hayes, Matt Weiss, and Joey Kimenti are the guys probably going to look at some varsity. But, we're still not set on the lineup, but we're getting there.
When you go to look, bottom line is if you're looking for this lineup, how do you determine who you might want to be at number 1, number 2, the doubles play? Because that's a whole different game than singles.
It is. Pretty much it's solved with challenge matches. Occasionally, though, you get a guy who's, player A is beating player B in singles, but B's the better doubles player. So they might end up playing doubles and, over that guy who's maybe the better player in singles. But generally challenge matches works its way out.
I'm going to ask you a little bit about Ryan because he's the next one to step into the long line of number 1s. And you know what? There's a lot to live up to here because you've had so many good players at number 1. Talk about how he's handling it so far.
I think he's doing great. He had a really nice summer. He won a couple tournaments, got to the finals of the other tournaments, USTA tournaments, and he's hit a lot over the summer. He's hitting the ball much harder. He's grown a lot. He's bigger than Eric was as far as height, and I think that'll help. And he's hitting the ball very well.
Do you get a chance to talk to him a little bit just about from the mental standpoint of being number 1 and everybody's coming after you now?
We've talked about that a little, and I think Eric has too. And I just think, stepping into brother's footsteps, I think he's going to be fine. I think he's looking forward to the challenge.
George Dickman is another young man that is coming back from last year. Talk about what he has done as far as his improvement in his game.
He's another kid that hit the ball pretty well over the winter. Went to Hamilton, Ohio, and hit a lot, and hit quite a bit this summer, and did a really nice job for us at one doubles last year with Josh Jones. Josh did too, and he's probably going to end up playing doubles again.
Is there any consideration, maybe thinking because of the way he played, you might move him into the number 2 or 3 spot, or is that you'd like him at doubles more?
Could, but I like him at doubles. I just think he's kind of found his niche there, and we'll see what happens, but probably doubles right now.
Coach, I know the tournament's a long way away, at least from a calendar standpoint, but you play a lot, you play often. From that standpoint, too, what are you expecting this year? What's your gut feeling telling you? You've been in this game for a long time. You probably have kind of an idea of where this team could be.
I like this team. I really do. We've got a lot of experience coming back as far as kids that have played for a long time. I think we could go pretty far. We're definitely not looking ahead, but I really do like this team.
And generally, you still have a pretty good schedule, too, which helps prepare you.
We do. The NCC is pretty good. Is a pretty good conference in tennis, and then our non-conference schedule is pretty strong. So, yeah, it gives us a good opportunity to get some good matches before the tournament starts.